all of the bad things I've said about all of the other conferences, you can now consider yourself absolved. Simply because the Square Enix conference, was almost it was the perfect counterpoint to Nintendo, because the entire conference was just really boring, and they managed to say nothing. They showed just trailers. Even the stuff that they said that was gameplay was obviously pre-edited. It's even the section that said, "Oh yes, look, we have the world first of the trailer. We have the world first gameplay footage." It's like, no, you have a gameplay trailer. This is edited. How do you know it's edited? Because it's a trailer. You can't call a trailer game. You can call it a gameplay trailer, but you can't just call it gameplay and just say, "Oh, it's the world first gameplay." It's like, no. You have to admit that this is edited in some way, and because it is edited to form a trailer, it's essentially, it could be fuck all. The whole thing could be just digitally edited to make it look better. That's the entire point of these pre-rendered trailers. It's just, yeah, that's the whole thing. They managed to say nothing. They even at some of the points they showed off stuff that was already shown off, which was bewildering. I think the best thing to do with this is just go through all of the things, because it's going to be easy, it's going to be bloody quick and all. They started off with a montage thing with Just Cause 3. It looks okay. It's Just Cause. It's Just Cause plus 1. It looks good. Then they showed off Final Fantasy 4. Well, they talked briefly about the way of the company. There's way too much talking in this. They talked a lot about their business and talked about how they're doing in the recent history. And, oh look, we're doing another conference after so much time. Almost wasn't worth doing it. They showed off more Just Cause 3 after more talking. The trailer that they had, Jesus Christ, it was like a 5-minute gameplay trailer with non-stop over-talking over it. They didn't stop talking over it, saying, "Oh, look at this grappling hook. The grappling hook is all fancy. Look at this grappling hook. It's amazing." It's basically the only thing they've done with the grappling hook is they've added a tension thing to it. So basically, you can use the thing as a slingshot now. You can go, thunk, ping! They spent like 5 minutes saying that. Why? Fine. So that was it. That was Just Cause 3. Looks good. Comes out December 1st, PS4, Xbox One, PC. Even to the point I actually wrote bored. It got so much to a point I even just wrote bored on my friggin' folder. I was just so bored by that point. And then Platinum Games showed up, and it was for a Nier sequel. Not sure if anyone asked for that. Anyway, it's a sequel for Nier, if you're that much of a fan. They showed fuck all. They showed a trailer entirely consisting of backgrounds and emotional dramatic music, and one character model, which I think was one of the character models from the first one. I don't know, didn't play Nier, one of the many, I suppose. Then they went on about Rise of the Tomb Raider. Instead of showing off gameplay, they had a video that talked about the developers, and the thing is, it wasn't a thing where it was developers talking about how they made the game. It was just almost reading off a script saying, "Oh, look at this, look at Tomb Raider, blah 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 blah." It was fucking pointless. Then they showed off Lara Croft Go, which is a turn-based mobile Tomb Raider game. That was it. They showed a brief few screenshots, and that was it. It's got a very particular style. Nothing else about it. At that point, I thought the bloody thing finished. But then they showed off the exact same trailer from the Sony conference about the Final Fantasy VII remake. They literally just said, "Oh look, oh, look at this. Oh, like we said yesterday, it's all good. More information in the winter. It's like, what was the fucking point of showing the trailer then? If the only addition you have to that is you'll know more in the winter. One interesting thing is that the original Final Fantasy VII, the port of the PC version to the PS4 is delayed. Well, I'm not sure about again, but it's delayed till the winter. But to add on to that, they are releasing a original Final Fantasy VII version to the iOS. So there's now going to be a iOS version of Final Fantasy VII. Then they went on to about Kingdom Hearts. They said they showed a trailer for Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key. I'm guessing that's the title. It was released in Japan a while ago, and it's being released in North America only. Fucking dicks. I hate it when companies do that. It's like, especially when Japanese companies do that. It's like, oh, it's releasing it only in North America. It's like, well, screw you then, you pile of shit. Then they finally ended up talking about Kingdom Hearts 3. They spent a lot of time talking about it. Even a couple of Disney people showed up to start talking about it, saying, oh look, we've made a series of films to document how we don't care. Then they finally showed off some gameplay of it. It looks great, it looks fine, it looks fun. The fact that they called it gameplay irritates me, because it was moments of gameplay with cinematics that was edited together to make a trailer. So it is a gameplay. So it is a trailer, not gameplay. So screw you. Then they came out and announced again World of Final Fantasy, which was announced during the Sony conference. That's coming out in 2016. They said nothing more. IO Interactive came out and talked a little bit about Hitman. They told quite a fair amount about this, but I'm not entirely sure if this is good, because Hitman sounds like they're going for a sort of hub sandboxy sort of style of game, which was all right. But the way that the good Hitman games is sort of sandbox-based levels. So if they're going for a sandbox, if it's sandbox levels, and it might just be from the way that they said it. If it's sandbox levels and it's just the way that they said it, it made it sound like something else, then fine, that's okay. But one thing they really wanted to push through is the community, and having the community work together to get one-time community assassinations, because in this community they're doing the same thing on what they did with the previous Hitman, where you can make your own contracts in game, but also they are doing community is like giving an assassination that can only be done once, and once it is done, that is it. You can never do it again. And it is on a timer, so you have a set amount of days to complete this contract, and once you complete this contract, that is the only time you can do it. They said that the community will work together to find the best way to do it. And it's like, no, they won't. Doing it the perfect way and doing it the fun way are not the same thing. It's like doing it the good way for me, or doing it the good way for the game, is not the same way of the good way for me. The good way for me is to find the person, punch him in the face, and unload a shotgun round into him, because that's fun. Because, well, they spend so much time trying to make these bad guys, it's fun to walk in with a shotgun and just blow some of these people away. But it's not the best way that the game says. The game says you're only allowed to kill one person and not harm a single soul. So that is going to be interesting. It comes out December 8th. Then they showed a montage of some games. They could have just announced these games properly, but they went, oh no, we'll just go for a montage, because Hitman Sniper, it looks like a mobile game. Triad Wars looks interesting. They showed us a couple of shots of Final Fantasy 15, because then they teased a Square Enix and Tri-Ace project, which is, well, Star Ocean 5, I would assume. Well, Star Ocean 5, Integrity and Faithlessness. Now that's a fucking colonization. Integrity and Faithlessness. Okay. Yeah, it was an edited gameplay trailer. It comes out in North America and Europe in 2016. It's a Star Ocean sequel. I've played the Star Ocean games extremely briefly, so it's okay. Then came along Deus Ex Mankind Divided. They managed to show, they said a fair amount, but it's mainly additional stuff to stuff we already knew. Like, it is 2 years after Human Revolution, so yeah, we sort of knew that. He is a secret agent working for, basically, Interpol. Okay, we sort of knew that, but you're a double agent, trying to hunt down the Illuminati. Well, we expected that, and we pretty much knew that as well. There are multiple endings. The one thing I didn't like about the multiple endings, and is with Deus Ex, is the way that they do these multiple endings. Because the multiple endings of the way they're doing it, it's a multiple ending whether you kill people or stun people. Fair enough. The good part, the good path is harder than just running around with a machine gun. That is good. But the fact that they added 4 buttons are saying, press this button for ending A, ending B. Press this button for ending 1A, 1B, and 2A, 2B, 3B. It's like... So for Human Revolution, there was like 8 different endings. Because there was the good and the bad. Which is fine, because it's weaved into the gameplay. It's actually weaved into the gameplay. But then they just give you buttons to arbitrarily make more endings. And it was... Okay? Okay, why? So yeah, so if they do that again, it's going to be... fine. It's slightly irritating. It's going to keep the action RPG elements. It showed a trailer. It was edited as per the entire conference. Yeah, it comes out early 2016, PS4, Xbox One, PC. That's really it. Yeah, I ended up writing down a line here saying, are they against unedited gameplay? Because none of it. They spent most of their time talking, and of the actual game stuff they showed off, most of it was edited trailers. It wasn't even just gameplay, it was just trailers. Christ's sake, people! That was annoying. But then, as a ending twist, they added a new... Well, they said that we are setting up a new JRPG company called Tokyo RPG Factory. Okay, slightly on the nose. And they said they are currently working on something called Project Satsuna. Or Setsuna. It's... Yeah, the way that it's spelled, if you go through it with like sort of the English phonetics, it's almost Satsuma, which is an orange. So, Project Orange. I was just referring to Project Orange until something comes up, because that is all they said about it. Said, we are doing this project. What? Christ. Like I said, all of the bad things I said about the other conferences, you're completely absolved. There's only one conference left, and that's PC Gamer, and that one could be fucking anything. It's from a media outlet, so who the hell knows what that one is going to be about. But all the bad things I said about the previous conferences, you're absolved. Don't do what Square Enix has done and spent an hour and a half. It felt like long. If it wasn't an hour and a half, then it fucking felt like it. It was times there were many, many times I thought, oh look, they're bringing up a montage, this must be the end. No, it's going on even longer. They managed to say nothing. Absolutely nothing. It drove me round the bend. The fact that they just announced shit and then going, oh look, talky gameplay video that's obviously edited because we have special effects in and fucking credits and words on screen during the for fuck's sake.